Hi, third graders. This is Mrs. Delota. This week we've been talking about settings in a story. We learned that the setting is the time and place of a story. We also learned that settings could be realistic or made up. Today, we're going to think about how I can identify how the setting is important for the story to make sense. Take a look at these 3 pictures from some famous movies. Ask yourself, would the story make sense if the location was somewhere else? In The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy's house is picked up by a tornado and dropped off in Oz. What if the tornado had picked up her house and dropped it off in Ohio? What a different story that would be. There wouldn't be an Emerald Palace. There wouldn't be all the other characters that Dorothy works with to solve their problems. How about in Pirates of the Caribbean? What if this story took place in the desert? How would they go on their ship if there wasn't any water? That doesn't make any sense. How about Peter Pan? What if Peter Pan took place on the moon? That wouldn't make sense. Let's take a look at the book Meteor. As we talk about the plot of the story, let's start thinking about how the setting is important to the story. Continue to ask yourself, would this story make sense if the location was somewhere else? What if the meteor in this story fell in the middle of the desert? In the middle of the forest? In the middle of Antarctica? Would these parts of the story make sense? In the beginning, something fell from the sky over Grandma and Grandpa's farm. Would Grandma and Grandpa have a farm in any of those locations? Probably not. The high point of the story is when everyone started talking about the meteor and wanted to see it, so they came to the farm. If the story took place in one of those other settings, there wouldn't be anyone around to come to the farm. And how about the ending or solution? Everyone felt changed and happy after touching the meteor. It was so special to Grandma that it became her headstone when she died. This also wouldn't have happened because there wouldn't have been anyone around in order to touch the meteor. So we can see that the setting was very important to that story. Now you're going to have a chance to try to use what you know. Today we learned that a story's setting can be important to the story. Next, you're going to listen to The Great Fuzz Frenzy. As you're listening to the story, think about what is the setting of the story and why is the setting important in the story. Enjoy listening, readers.